Welcome back, fight fans. UFC 316 is upon us this week as we set stage with two championship fights taking place this Saturday in New Jersey. Merab the Machine Dvalishvili is defending his belt from the one he took it from, Sugar Shane O'Malley. And we've got Juliana Pena defending her belt in the co-main event against Kayla Harrison. There's 5 fights on the main card, so let's break them down starting at the top. But remember to subscribe and follow Fight Weekly for your UFC weekly fight updates. Now let's get into it. At UFC 316, the relentless machine Merab Dvalishvili defends his bantamweight crown against Sugar Sean O'Malley in a high-stakes rematch. It's a clash of style. Dvalishvili's suffocating wrestling meets O'Malley's dynamic striking. Merab Dvalishvili, the champ, is 34 years old, standing at 5'6" with a 68-inch reach. He's the definition of relentless, a cardio machine who breaks opponents with pace, pressure, and punishing takedowns. With a 19-4 record and riding one of the most impressive win streaks in the division, Vegas has him locked in as a -330 favorite. On the other side, you've got Sean O'Malley, younger, flashier, and 5 inches taller at 5'11", with a reach of 72 inches. The 30-year-old comes in as the +240 underdog, but don't count him out. He's already proven he can shut the lights out in a heartbeat. First up, the machine, Merab Dvalishvili, the cardio king with the pressure that never quits. Let's run through his last 4 performances that brought him to the top. Merab stepped into hostile territory against Pyer and absolutely drowned him. 5 rounds, 49 takedown attempts, and a record-setting pace that left Jan looking lost. Fans were stunned and a former champ neutralized. Next came Triple C. The Olympic gold medalist returned and got overwhelmed. Merab stuffed the wrestling threat and out-volumed Cejudo with pace and pressure. A unanimous decision with a little doubt. Then came the title shot against the flashy Sugar Sean O'Malley, and Merab made it gritty. He dragged Sean O'Malley into the deep end, landed takedown after takedown, and even got a little cheeky mid-fight. A dominant decision, a belt around his waist, and a kiss that went viral. Against the rising boogeyman Umar Nurmagomedov, Merab proved his class. A tactical, grueling bout that pushed both men, but Merab's pressure again stole the show. He made history too, breaking GSP's all-time takedown record. And now the fan favorite striker, Sean O'Malley. Known for timing, precision, and highlight reel knockouts, let's rewind this last chapter of Sugar's rise and fall and comeback. Aljo walked in the champ and walked out stunned. O'Malley slipped a lazy entry and countered with a right-hand laser TKO. 2 rounds. Then came the redemption fight against Chito Vera, the only man to beat him thus far. But this time, no nerve, no weird injuries, just clean technical dominance across 5 rounds. O'Malley proved he leveled up and a satisfying revenge story completed. But his reign didn't last long. Against Merab, Sean got mauled. Takedown after takedown, round after round, and mid-fight showboating that made the loss sting a little more. Later, Sean revealed a torn labrum going into the fight. It's a clash of styles. Pressure wrestler versus precision striker. Will Dvalishvili's relentless pace prevail, or can Sean O'Malley's refined striking reclaim the title? Let me know your predictions down below, who you think wins this Saturday in the battle for the bantamweight belt. In our co-main event, Juliana Pena defends her bantamweight crown against Olympic judo gold medalist Kayla Harrison. It's a clash of grit versus gold, resilience versus dominance. Pena, the defending champ, is 35 years old and stands 5'6". She's got a solid 69-inch reach and fights out of an orthodox stance. Her record, 13 wins, 5 losses, and every fight is a war. Across from her, the juggernaut Kayla Harrison. She's a year younger at 34, 2 inches taller at 5'8", but her reach, surprisingly shorter at just 66 inches. She's a southpaw with near perfect 18-1 record, and when it comes to odds, it's wide. Pena walks in at a +400 underdog. Meanwhile, Harrison, the former PFL champ and Olympic, is a massive -620 favorite. But if Pena's proven anything, it's that she thrives when no one's given her a chance, and Harrison may be the favorite on paper, but in the octagon, nothing is guaranteed. Juliana Pena has had only 3 fights since her championship bout against Amanda Nunes in 2021, where she shocked the MMA world by submitting a seemingly invincible Amanda Nunes in the 2nd round. Her relentless pressure and striking overwhelmed Nunes, leading to one of the biggest upsets in UFC history. They rematched each other in July of 2022, where Nunes showcased her dominance, winning a unanimous decision. Pena displayed incredible toughness, enduring multiple knockdowns and significant damage, but couldn't replicate her previous success. Pena was sidelined throughout 2023 due to broken ribs sustained during training, forcing her to withdraw from a scheduled trilogy fight with Nunes. This injury kept her out of action for an entire year. Returning at UFC 307, Pena faced Raquel Pena Pennington for the vacant Bantamweight title back in October 2024. In a seemingly close contested bout, Peña edged out a split decision victory, though many media outlets and fans believe Pennington had done enough to get the win. Now let's look at the UFC journey of Kayla Harrison, a two-time Olympic judo gold medalist making waves. Harrison made a statement in her UFC debut back in April 2024, submitting former champion Holly Holm in the second round. Her judo expertise was on full display, dominating Holm and announcing her arrival in the UFC. Then in October 2024, she faced Ketlen Vieira. Harrison secured a unanimous decision victory despite dealing with a pre-fight infection and the altitude of Salt Lake City. She showcased her resiliency and grappling prowess, solidifying her status as a top contender. With both fighters overcoming adversity and proving themselves, their clash at UFC 316 promises a battle of champions. Will Peña's experience and heart prevail, or will Harrison's judo and skill lead her to gold? Next up, veteran warrior Kelvin Gastelum faces rising powerhouse Joe Body Bags Pyfer in a middleweight clash. It's experience versus youth, durability versus knockout power, but who will prevail? First up, Kelvin Gastelum. At 33 years old, he's a battle-tested southpaw standing at 5'9" with a 71.5-inch reach. He's coming in at 186 pounds with a record of 20 wins, 9 losses, and 1 no contest. And don't let the experience fool you. Gastelum enters at a plus 305 underdog, but if you know his history, you know he thrives in the chaos. On the other side, it's Joe Pyfer, 28 years old, towering at 6'2" with a long 75-inch reach. He fights out of the orthodox stance. Pyfer is the minus 400 favorite, and for good reason. He's explosive, dangerous, and sitting on a 13-3 record with serious knockout power. Gastelum's experience and resilience contrast with Pyfer's size, reach, and knockout power. The odds favor the younger contender, but the veteran grit can't be underestimated. Kelvin Gastelum's career has been a roller coaster. After a stunning rise in the middleweight division, he hit a rough patch, losing 5 of 6 fights between 2018 and 2021. Injuries and inactivity followed, leaving fans wondering if the former title challenger would bounce back. Then in April 2023, Gastelum made his return after a year away, facing tough striker Chris Curtis. It was a war, 3 rounds of back and forth action. Gastelum edged out a unanimous decision win and took home fight of the night. Fans saw flashes of the old Gastelum and it looked like the comeback was on. But the comeback hit a wall in December 2023 when he fought rising star Sean Brady. Gastelum was outgrappled and submitted with a Kimura in round 3. Brady's dominance reignited questions about Gastelum's ability to evolve, especially against elite wrestlers. With weight-cutting issues behind him, Gastelum returned to middleweight to face Daniel Rodriguez in June 2024. He delivered a clean, composed performance, earning unanimous decision win and stabilizing his momentum. And let's not forget, this fight with Joe Pyfer was originally booked for UFC Fight Night this past March, and now that delay is finally over. Joe Pyfer may be newer to the UFC spotlight, but he's already made a statement. With raw knockout power, submission skills, and a chip on his shoulder, this man is on a mission. In April 2023, Pyfer made headlines by starching veteran Gerald Meerschaert with a first-round TKO. It was clean, clinical, and announced his presence in the division. Next came Abdul Razak Al Hassan, another KO artist, but Pyfer flipped the script, dominating with grappling and finishing the fight via arm triangle choke in round 2. Then in February 2024 came his first UFC main event against veteran Jack Hermanson. It was a learning experience for Joe Pyfer. Hermanson used movement and strategy to win a clear decision. Pyfer showed heart, but it was a reminder that the top 10 is a different animal. Pyfer did bounce back in violent fashion in June 2024, knocking out Marc-Andre Barriault in the very first round. No hesitation, just violence. And in between these bouts, Pyfer stayed sharp, taking grappling matches on the side, and it's rare to see a KO artist this committed to rounding out his game. This one's a classic, the veteran grinder versus the surging knockout artist. Experience versus explosion. Will Pyfer pass his biggest test yet, or will Gastelum derail the hype train? Rising UFC contender Mario Bautista faces former Bellator champion Patchy in a bantamweight clash. It's a battle between surging UFC talent and a dominant newcomer aiming to make his mark. First, we've got Mario Bautista, 31 years old, standing 5'9", fighting out of the orthodox stance. He's got a 72-inch reach and an impressive 15-2 record inside of the cage. And even with 4 straight UFC wins, Bautista steps in as a plus 145 underdog. He's technical, calculated, and climbing fast. On the other side, it's the former Bellator champion Patchy, also 31 but taller at 5'11". He comes in with a 71.5-inch reach and a slick southpaw stance that's given plenty of fighters nightmares. With a dominant 20-1 record and an insane finish rate, Patchy is minus 175, and now he's looking to make a statement in his UFC debut. Mario Bautista has been quietly building one of the most consistent win streaks in the UFC's bantamweight division. Since 2022, he's been on a roll, stacking up dominant wins one after another. In August 2023, Bautista faced Damon Blackshear in just 1 week's notice. It wasn't flashy, but it was smart. A composed 3-round performance where Bautista used distance, pace, pace and pressure to secure a unanimous decision win. Next up was Ricky Simone, a powerhouse wrestler. Bautista showed maturity and striking IQ, stuffing takedowns and landing clean counters and earning himself a second straight decision victory. And his most recent fight in October 2024 was a big one, a split decision win over former featherweight king Jose Aldo. Bautista kept his composure and used volume and movement to edge out the legend in a razor-close fight. Some fans thought Aldo won it, but two judges agreed on Bautista and he takes home the victory. And let's not forget, this fight was originally supposed to be Bautista versus Marlon Vera, and he was originally booked twice, but both matchups fell through, and now Patchy Mix signs to the UFC to fill the spot on short notice. Now, Mix has been unstoppable since 2021. With the championship belt and a finish-heavy resume, he enters the UFC with serious momentum and even more serious expectations. 2 years ago, Mix got a shocking victory with a first-round flying knee knockout over Rafion Stotz to win the Bellator Bantamweight Grand Prix and the interim title. It was violent, it was clean, and it proved Mix isn't just a grappler. Then came the title unification bout against Sergio Pettis. Mix did what Mix does, used his grappling skills to take the back, lock the choke, and he walked out the undisputed champ. And most recently, he defended his crown against the ultra-dangerous Magomed Magomedov. It went 5 rounds, and though it was tight, Mix edged a split decision, showing off his cardio, composure under pressure, and his ability to take it 5 rounds. This fight is high risk, high reward for both men. Bautista wants to break into the title conversation. Mix wants to prove the UFC is just his next hunting ground. Buckle up, this one's gonna be technical, tense, and possibly very violent. Next, two of the welterweights division's most electrifying finishers collide. Vicente the silent assassin Luque brings his lethal Muay Thai and submission arsenal against Kevin Trailblazer Holland and his dynamic strike and unorthodox style. Expect fireworks when these two finishers meet in the octagon. First up, Vicente Luque. He's 33 years old and 5'11" with a 75.5-inch reach. He's an orthodox striker with a reputation for violence, holding an 87% finish rate across 23 wins, 10 losses, and 1 draw. Despite his killer instinct, Luque enters this one as a plus 215 underdog. Across from him, it's Kevin Trailblazer Holland, a lanky, unpredictable brawler at 6'3" with a towering 81-inch reach. At 32 years old, he matches Luque's aggression with an 81% finishing rate and a record of 27 wins, 13 losses, and 1 no contest. Holland enters as a minus 275 favorite, and with that kind of reach and creativity, it's no surprise the odd makers like his chances. Vicente Luque is no stranger to the grind. Before his return in 2023, he had suffered back-to-back losses to Bilal Muhammad and Jeff Neal, two of the division's most suffocating fighters. In that fight with Neal, Luque absorbed heavy damage and suffered a brain hemorrhage, forcing a year-long hiatus and raising questions about his future in the sport. But Luque returned stronger than ever. In 2023, he went 5 rounds with Rafael Dos Anjos, controlling the pace and surviving the grappling. He earned a unanimous decision win and most importantly proved he was still elite. Just months later, he faced the explosive Joaquin Buckley, and this time things didn't go his way. Buckley's speed and power overwhelmed Luque, leading to a TKO in the second round. The loss reminded fans that while Luque is durable, he's not invincible. But in vintage silent assassin fashion, Luque bounced back. In December of last year, he submitted Themba Garimbo in just 52 seconds with a nasty anaconda choke, showing that when he's on, he's one of the most dangerous finishers in the division. Kevin Holland's career has been anything but conventional. From middleweight to welterweight, short notice to main event, the guy's fought everyone. He's had 3 fights since literally just last October, where he took on Roman Dolidze. After a sluggish first round, Holland's corner threw in the towel, a surprising move but one that signaled something was off. It was called for a rib injury, but whether that injury was for real or it was a lack of motivation, we really couldn't be quite sure. Then came De Ridder, a decorated grappler from one championship. Holland started strong but was quickly taken down and submitted in round 1. It was just another reminder that wrestling continues to be his Achilles heel. But just 2 months later, Holland bounced back. He showed he had strong takedown defense and superior volume striking to beat Gunnar Nelson by unanimous decision. Since 2023, Holland's faced murderers row: Bilal Muhammad, Michael Venom Page, Michael Oleksiejczuk. Win or lose, he's been in there with the top level talent across multiple styles. And recently, Holland made it clear he's not chasing titles, he's fighting for checks, for fun. That makes him unpredictable and sometimes dangerous. And that wraps up your MMA Fight Weekly preview of UFC 316, Dvalishvili versus O'Malley. We've got a lot of great fights this weekend. Look out for more videos coming soon on my fight predictions. If you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment with your main event prediction. Thanks for tuning in, and let's enjoy the fights.